My name is NJ Franco, and something I have started doing is doing a book review at the end of each month. This month, I'm actually reading The Son of Neptune. But I figure, in an attempt and in an excuse to test out live streaming, something I might start doing is, instead of doing a monthly update on whatever book I'm reading, start doing weekly updates, and kind of give you the idea of what my thoughts are as I'm reading it. Because like when I do my final review of a book at the end of a month, usually some thoughts that I had towards the beginning of reading the book, I thought, I by the end of it, I decided, I'm not going to mention that in the review. But this gives me the opportunity to say some of those things that usually don't make it to the final review, as the weeks go on. Make sense? I hope so. But anyway, so I've been reading Son of Neptune, The Heroes of Olympus, Son of Neptune by Rick Riordan, for actually little over a week and a half. I'm almost halfway done. I'm on page like 230 something, so almost halfway done. But here are my thoughts on it so far. I actually took some notes on my phone. So, first off, Camp Jupiter is very, very militarized compared to um, Camp Half Blood. Okay, now I can't act too surprised by that because my wife, who's read all of Percy Jackson and the Olympians and all of Heroes of Olympus, as well as what was it? Magnus Chase and some other Rick Riordan books. I don't know all of them, but she's read a lot more Rick Riordan than I ever have. Either way, so she's already read all of Heroes of Olympus, and she tried to warn me, that basically the Romans counterparts to the Greeks, they're basically like the Roman gods are basically like the Greek gods, but like on steroids. Okay, they're like 10 times more like bad A and whatever. And I get that, but I wasn't really prepared for. I guess it makes sense now, but to see how much more militarized the Roman camp was at Camp Jupiter as opposed to Camp Half-Blood, I was somewhat surprised by that. But with that being said, though, on to my next point, though, is not everything about the Roman half of the uh, story, or whatever you want to call it, is as amped up compared to the Greek side. Because looking at the fawns, okay, the fawns, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I'm pretty sure I am. Um, they are the the satyr counterparts to the Romans, and I'm sorry, but the fawns in the Roman camp are pretty much freaking useless. Okay, at least in Camp Half Blood, the satyrs, they actually serve a point. They they go out and they find the half blood teenagers, or whatever, heroes, and they protect them and they bring them to the camp. But the fawns, they don't do anything. They're freaking lazy. They take advantage of the protection of the camp. They don't really do anything but beg for food and just be worthless. I'm sorry. So far, I mean, maybe they serve a bigger point because I'm only, like I said, I'm only on Son of Neptune. I know there's more books in the series. Maybe there's a fawn out there that shows them as being like the rare exception to the bunch. But so far, all the fawns just seem kind of useless. Now let's see. Oh, where are the adults? So, um, with the Roman, all right. So I'm the kind of guy, that I'm the kind of guy that will watch, Stranger Things. For those of you who have seen Stranger Things on Netflix, I'll watch Stranger Things, and I'll be watching the most recent season, and I'll be like, you know what? I haven't seen any adults in like 3 episodes. Where the hell are the adults? Maybe that's just me, because I'm a old ass adult. But it seems that these teenagers in the Roman camp have like no real like adult supervision. Yeah, they have older teenagers and whatnot, like looking after them. But I'm like, where's the Chiron of the camp is what I want to know. And I'm not necessarily saying that they need to have a centaur, adult or anything like that. Hell, I know that the Romans don't really like this, centaurs that much that are weary of them or something like that. Okay, but so I'm not saying it has to be a centaur. Have like the in uh Greek Camp Half Blood, they have Dionysus. Where get Vulcan or somebody like that, one of the Roman gods to be in charge over at the Roman camp. Why is it just like teenagers in charge of everything? Now I do know that that in the Roman camp they have like they have like the city center and whatnot, and like a lot of politics going on there. And I guess adults and like the more like the veterans of the half blood Roman demigods live in there and go to college and stuff like that. But as far as like the actual camp and who's in charge of the camp activities and whatnot, it's just teenagers. Why? Where the hell are the freaking adults? But maybe that's just me for thinking that. I don't know. All right. Okay. So one last thing. This was just gonna be a short stream. I basically just wanted to test things out, see how things go. I have other notes in here, but I'm actually saving those for next week because I'm trying to like save some stuff for my next stream. But anyway, because I plan on doing possibly another stream on this coming Friday, and then from there on, doing a weekly update for my basically every Friday do my do a weekly update on where I am on what I'm reading. Anyway, so my last note before I end this stream, because I just wanted to do a quick little test or see how things go. I'm making a prediction. Now I'm not going to call this too much of a spoiler because I don't know for sure. I haven't finished the book, so this would be a surprise to me as well. But I'm making a prediction right now. Gwen, the centurion that was in charge before Frank took over, she got skewered and became a shish kebab and whatever. And they said, what I remember one of the guys saying that there was going to be an investigation, that this had to have been intentional. But I'm like, these are war games, first off. So her being killed or attacked, whatever, had to have been intentional. But regardless, I'm making a prediction that the investigation that they say they're going to do is probably never going to happen. Okay, I haven't finished the book yet. Hell, knowing my luck, at the end of the book, they're going to be like, hey, surprise, by the way, remember that investigation we said we were going to do? Well, it was Don the Fawn. I don't know, probably not Don the Fawn. He's the only character I could think of. But yeah, I have a feeling that this book is going to end, and possibly even the entire series, with the investigation never happening. So I'm actually going to be paying attention to that to see if I'm right. That Gwen's attacker is going to be left unknown. So, but yeah, anyway, that's really it. Really short ass stream. I just wanted to test things out, see how things go. Some I've always wanted to do, but I've always been like way too afraid to do it. I've always been, so I'm finally told myself, I'm like, I'm doing it tonight, whether I like it or not. This hasn't been a super successful stream. Was expected to either, but I finally did one. About damn time. So I'm going to go ahead and end this in under 10 minutes, under 9 minutes. Damn. But yeah, it was fun.